We have a major drought hitting Brazil, friends, and if you know anything about Brazil, they are the largest corn exporter and one of the largest soybean exporters in the world. Major agricultural powerhouse out there, major drought hitting them and seriously crippling their harvest this coming year. We also have a busy week so far. I know. It's right before Christmas, and USDA is out there slaughtering millions of chickens. We got a lot of updates about that. You're going to want to hear that because it's going to impact your egg prices. And we have Sam's Club out there saying that we should all be stocking up for 2024. What do they know? We're going to dig into that as well. Welcome to the Poplar Report, everyone. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. This is your channel where you send in your updates, what you're seeing at your store shelves, what you're hearing and seeing at your workplaces. This is crucial updates that we are getting out there. This is not all mainstream media stuff. This is stuff coming directly from other viewers. Super important stuff. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. If you have retirement accounts and you want to get them into something solid like gold, silver, or platinum coins, you might want to talk to Jonathan and his team. They do a fantastic job. I hear nothing but praise from you guys about them. So let's start with Brazil. Worst in 121 years, the drought. We're talking about record low Amazon River levels. This drought is impacting the Amazon. Just let that sink in for a moment. We're having people talking about having to do wells because the rivers that they're nearby are too dry. They're watching carcasses of fish floating down the river because there's not enough water and it's impacting the ecosystems and all this kind of stuff like that. It has delayed the soybean harvest for farmers out there. It has actually forced some of the farmers in some of the areas to replant their soybeans. It's a mixed bag of projections out there of what the soybean harvest will actually look like. But I just tried to fix my glasses and they weren't there. But the main thing that people are agreeing on out there is that the corn harvest is going to be dramatically impacted. We're talking a 13% drop in harvest this year. Why? Because the soybean harvest is happening so late that they're not planting corn. So they're going to be looking at over 10% of the farmers aren't even going to plant corn. We're seeing a massive drop in fertilizer purchases from Brazil. It is impacting fertilizer prices and markets around the world already. This is a major, major concern out there. And since they are the #1 exporter of corn, a 700 million bushel drop in production. That's what they're looking at right now. That is enough to feed 100 million people for a year. We're not talking about chump change here. 100 million people's food per year is gone. Now, I understand a whole bunch of that gets fed to cattle and stuff like that. A lot of the corn gets, fattened up cattle. But we're talking about the calories enough for 100 million people. That's how much of a drop. Moving over to the United States, we have a busy week of slaughtering chickens because that's what the USDA celebrates, Christmas with. 1.6 million egg layers culled so far this week. Not month, week. And we're still in the middle of the week, right? We're talking about Kansas, California, and more California. 1.6 million egg layers culled this week so far. That's in addition to the 2.5 million last week and 3.5 million the week before. So you start doing the math there, and we're talking about a lot of chickens have been culled. Consider the fact that they lay, generally speaking, 1 egg per day, approximately. We're talking about tens of millions of eggs less per day. And you wonder why the prices at your store are going up, eggs? Yes, that is exactly why they're going up. And with the cullings that we've seen this week and last week, we're going to expect to see those egg prices continue to squeeze upwards because Americans tend not to cut their egg purchases until prices go dramatically higher. This is from Interweb. Many thanks for the heads up on the applesauce tainted with lead from Ecuador, right? Because I have a grandmother who eats that stuff due to her dental issues, and I definitely don't want grandma absorbing lead. Thanks, Steve, for your updates. We need to keep up on top of what's going on out there for sure, because how else do you know? I mean, you don't get a phone call from the store to be like, hey, by the way, the applesauce we sold you might be tainted with lead. You don't get those kind of phone calls, do you? Elaine says, I found a receipt in my dresser drawer from Walmart 2021. That's after the cough, right? Even then, I was shocked, and they wanted to cry a little. 2021 heavy cream, 32 ounce, $1.48. It's now $4.98. This isn't at a different store. This isn't at some store that has sales and that kind of thing. We're talking about Walmart. They keep their prices pretty steady. Philadelphia 16 ounce cream cheese, $3.97 back then. Now it's $6.97. Shredded lettuce, 8 ounce back then, 88 cents. Now, $1.98. I could go on, but why depress people any more than necessary? Turns out, friends, that the stimmy checks were not free. All that stimulus money just jacked the prices up of everything. We have lost purchasing power out there, and if you had money saved, it just got inflated away. Carol, you're getting punished if you're saving money. That's what inflation ultimately is. If you save money, you get punished. Carol says, Metro Detroit suburbs. Had to go to 3 different stores to find coffee creamer. 4 Kroger stores within 15 minutes of my house, and they are all low on store brand products. Bread, cookies, pasta, coffee, and so on. 4 different Kroger stores. My olive oil went up by $5 from 3 weeks ago. They only had 1 can left. Prices are skyrocketing at an unbelievable pace. Thank you for all you do, and God bless you and keep you safe. If any of you don't believe in God, this might be a good time to rethink your faith or lack of. Always is, always is. If you guys don't know, I have a Bible channel, by the way. I do Bible studies, and we actually have a Christmas sermon series up. So if you want to get in the Christmas season of things, then you might want to check out those Bible studies. It's Steve Poplar Bible Studies, or Poplar Bible Studies. You can just Google that, or type into the search bar, or you can go through the community tab here. I8 says, my wife works in pharmacy at the hospital in upstate New York, and they can't get medication. From antibiotics to insulin and SSRI, which is for depression, apparently. I had to Google that one. But they distributed from Cardinal Live near, and I try to pronounce that, but I can't. Somewhere in New York. Anyway, upstate New York. Please do keep your reports coming in, by the way. Use the word update in a comment on this channel. Any one of the videos on this channel, just use the word update, and that gets it to the right place. Michael says, my local Aldi's in mid-Michigan was out of cheap rice, but had another brand of jasmine rice at higher price. So all the cheap stuff gone, but and it looks like people may be starting to stock up a little bit. We're starting to hear more and more about rice and beans starting to disappear. We're hearing with pasta disappearing. Usually people don't stock up for pasta for Christmas. You know, that's usually not what disappears. But yet it is this year. Aldi's brand corned beef hash has been missing for 6 months now, and I know. I like my corned beef hash every so often, and I'll tell you what, the Walmart brand corned beef hash does not taste as good as the Aldi brand. But we haven't seen the Aldi brand for a while. Hopefully they will re-release that at some point. Salad dressing was empty, but for 2 bottles. Butterball turkeys were in stock and on sale for 99 cents a pound. Salt and spices were hit or miss. Salt was all gone. Janny says, very little pasta at Walmart. No generic, only name brand, and lots of missing things. Only a couple types available. Tammy in Sanford, Florida. I made a pickup order from Sam's and they had no mayo. It was a week later, it was delivered. No rice had to be delivered. No Spam had to be delivered. How do you run out of Spam at a Sam's Club? That's something. Also, bottled water was very low stock and they had to change the order amount. So only allowed with limits on bottled water. You know we're moving into old Soviet style thinking when water is being rationed. When you have a limit of how much water you can buy in plastic bottles. That is crazy, isn't it? Who thought that you would be here in 2023 looking at being rationed items? I know, a couple years ago it was really bad with the rationing, but now it's like, it's still here. You know, we're 3 years later and yet we're still being rationed how much water we can buy, how much this we can buy, how much that we can buy. Absolutely crazy. If you're not getting ready, this is going to be a hard time for you because it's about to get a whole lot worse. Paula says, at the grocery outlet in Southern Oregon, they have switched the 64-ounce almond milk to a 32-ounce almond milk carton. Shrinkflation at its finest. We are allergic to milk, so we have to do that. The non-dairy items are always more expensive, but now it's hard to milk the almonds. That's the, you need real small hands for that. But now they are half-sized without being half the price. While I know how to make my own, it does not taste the same. I think today is the biggest boost in costs that store overall to date. So many items were nearly doubled in price since last year at this time, especially canned goods. Many were markedly increasing since last week. Now there was, someone did make a mention of that because they thought it was maybe due to aluminum prices, but most cans are actually, they're not tin cans, they're tin-plated steel. That's what most cans are. And so we had, I think we were getting tin-plated steel from Canada, and there was not embargo, some kind of sanction or tariff that went on to like Canadian tin-plated steel, and we said it was going to impact canned good prices. We kind of warned you of that last summer, but we're starting to really see that probably come into play. So that might be where a lot of the price increases for the canned goods is happening, is because the cans are costing more money. Ghost says, Branson, West Missouri, wow. Walmart was 80% out of pasta. Hamburger is $5 a pound. Walmart brand bread, 2 days old, and people are still wiping it out. Gone by evening. I went to Walmart Black Friday morning, about 7 a.m. The only people that were there were like me, grabbing some breakfast food. They never sold out of the hot buys, all the deals that they had for Black Friday. They just changed the prices the next day. So we should stack, stock, and store and repeat. For those of you out there, if you're seeing hamburger prices at like $5 a pound, I want you to consider this. The big cans of Keystone beef are a little shy of 2 pounds of ground beef would be at 32 ounces, right? And I think they're, 27 ounces? But the thing is, if you cook your ground beef, right, and you drain it, you're actually going to be looking at approximately 27-ish ounces of actual meat. So if you can your own meat, you're already going to lose some of that weight, right? And that's what we see these Keystone. So in my mind, I look at this Keystone beef cans because it's cooked and you lose that weight, the water in the meat and all that kind of stuff like that. You're really looking at essentially 2 pounds of cooked ground beef. So at under $10, it's cheaper in the can than it is fresh if it's $5 a pound. That's my math. That's my math. Plus, you don't have to pay for the jar and all that kind of stuff like that. That's why I stock a lot of Keystone beef. Lisa says, my friend stopped at Wawa today, which is like a gas station convenience store, for a coffee, and they were completely out of sugar packets. The employees said they were out of all sugar. Central Florida. Rich says, received my latest sale flyer from Sam's Club, and it looked like they were embracing the prepper movement. Prepper pantries for everybody, right? Pictures of a stocked pantry shelf with the tagline telling us to stock up for 2024. Still looks like plenty of pasta and rice on the local shelves. Sugar in 25 and 10-pound bags, readily available at Sam's, at least there. And I don't know. When Sam's Club itself, it sounds like it's starting to go mainstream, people feeling worried and starting to take steps to stock up. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining us. If you want to get more information about Genesis Gold Group and what they can do for your retirement accounts, there's a link right there. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report.